hours. Fantastic. So we are here for the next 3 hours for the Instant Courses workshop. We're going to show you the fail-proof method for launching your online course in less than a day. So clear the next 3 hours. Yes, that's right, 3 hours of your day. Close your cell phone, your email, your social media, your browser, your door, anything that might distract you from being present, and get something that you can use to take notes. Over the course of the next 3 hours, we're going to share with you a whole new way of thinking about the online courses space and opportunity. You will learn 5 different places in the customer journey lifecycle for courses to fit into your business. And you're going to learn how to get up and running with a course that you can sell in less than a day for real. Plus, we're going to have a live demo so you can see exactly how this all works in real time. And a whole lot more. Fundamentally, we want you to walk away from this experience knowing the best ways to integrate online courses into your business and show you how you can get up and running fast. Now, very briefly, because I know that many of you know who I am, but some of you do not. My name is Iny. I've been an educator entrepreneur since I was 15 years old. I'm the founder and CEO of Mirasee. My work has been featured on, I've contributed to, etc., all kinds of very notable places. I'm the author of multiple books on the topic. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about. And my co-presenter today is Abe Crystal. In fact, he is Dr. Abe Crystal. PhD with a very, very fancy sounding area of specialty. He's the founder and CEO of Rizuku. His PhD is in human-computer interaction. So if you think about that scene in The Matrix where Neo plugs in and then he knows Kung Fu, right? Abe does basically that, except we have to do it through online courses rather than plugging in just yet. He is a longtime advisor to Mirasee. He has contributed to 2 of my books, Teach Your Gift and Leverage Learning. And then he wrote his own book, which is even better, called The Business of Courses. He's also my co-host on the Course Lab podcast, which I'm biased, but it's really good. And I'm excited for what he has to share with you, and that's coming up in just a little bit. But before I hand over the microphone, I know that many of you are probably wondering something. So let's just address the elephant in the room and ask the question out loud. Danny, is this for real? How could you launch a course in less than a day? I mean, seriously. And the answer is yes, you can, with the right kind of course. You can't launch any kind of course in less than a day, but there are some kinds that you can. And when most people think of online courses, they think about the proverbial signature system, right? Where you take your unique secret sauces, your special expertise, the product of probably decades of hard work and learning, and you package it up into your flagship program or product. Now, those courses are great, but that's not what we're going to talk with you about today, because there are so many other ways, often easier and faster ways, for online courses to give a real boost to your business. You see, the signature system type of course is the course that delivers a core transformation, the transformation that is core to your business. And that is the course that you'll charge a premium to deliver, that you'll want to make richly hybrid, as I teach in many of my programs. And it can be a flagship offering for your business. And those courses are incredibly valuable. But there is a lot more to the story, because there's a lot that happens around that core transformation. There's a lot that happens before they ever get to the core transformation. There's a lot that happens during, in parallel with the core transformation. There's also a lot that happens after. And those are all opportunities for online courses to lift your business up. So before they ever make it to your core transformation, core offer, whether it's a course, product, service, whatever it is, there's an opportunity for free or paid mini courses to attract people to you, to attract leads and nurture prospects so they are ready to buy. As they go through and experience that core transformation, there's an opportunity for you to bundle courses into coaching packages to make them more valuable and easier to sell. And along the way, after they're done, there's an opportunity to include courses as bonus materials or additional things you can offer to people afterwards. Now, here's the really exciting part. There has really never been a better time to create all of these kinds of courses, because over the last few years, for obvious reasons that we're all well familiar with, everyone has gone massively online, and online courses have become wonderfully mainstream. So whereas all these different course components in your business lifecycle, they were a cool kind of nice to have a few years ago, Now they're increasingly expected and even demanded. And that's becoming more true every day. Courses are increasingly a way to get better and better leverage, creating more transformation for your students and income for you with less effort and involvement. So if that sounds good, if you're like, yes, I'm in the right place, put the word leverage into the chat. You're like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to learn. This is worth 3 hours of my time. Put the word leverage into the chat. And anyone who's not putting the word leverage into the chat, unless it's because you can't get to your keyboard, which, I guess could happen in certain cases. But if you don't feel that, yes, I want this leverage, yes, I'm in the right place, log off, go do something else, make productive use of your afternoon. Totally fine, we understand. But for everyone who did put the word leverage into the chat, everyone who's like, yeah, this is what I want, this is what we're going to teach you how to do literally in the next 3 hours. But for us to do that, you need to really focus on what we have to share with you. And that includes doing the exercise that we're going to have for you. This is an active participatory workshop. It's not, us presenting, you kind of listening, maybe taking the occasional note. It's much more involved. And that means you're going to have to be in it, and it means there can't be any distractions. So here's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to give you the first exercise. It's a little bit of a meta level exercise. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. And what I want you to do with those 3 minutes is take at least one action to protect your focus and presence. And the reason we do this is that I'm just looking at how many people are on this call right now, well upwards of 500 people. At the top of the hour, there were 200. And I get it, right? You're rushing from your last meeting, you grabbed something, you just hopped on. Maybe you're like, I need to use the bathroom, but maybe later. Maybe you're like, I don't have coffee, that's a bummer. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to get settled. Use the restroom if you need to, close your door, get a drink, take some deep breaths, center yourself so you're fully ready and present. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I'm going to put a timer on the screen. Take at least one action and then put in the chat, tell us what action did you take to protect your focus for the next 3 hours. 3 minutes starting now. All right. I love what I'm seeing in the chat from so many of you. Isn't it amazing how much just a couple of minutes of presence and intentionality can change our experience? It goes a very, very long way. So to everyone who's posting in the chat saying what you did, whether it is using the restroom or preparing a drink or moving to a quieter space or closing your door or whatever it is, I want to say, well done. I know it seems silly, but in these 3 minutes, you have dramatically increased your chances of getting results from the next 3 hours. And I know there are also some people, I saw you on camera, who are like, yeah, whatever, Danny, I'm just going to sit here with annoyance and wait for the time to run up. I saw it, and I'm telling you that it is not too late. Next time there's an exercise, dig in, because otherwise you're not going to get the experience and transformation you want out of these 3 hours, and that would be a shame. The 3 hours are going to go by anyway. You might as well get everything you can out of them. So with that, I'm going to hand the microphone over to Abe, and he's going to kick things off by talking about the most important key to unlocking success with online courses. So everyone, big round of virtual Mirasee applause for Abe. Here we go. Show of fingers, everyone. Abe, do you want to take over sharing your screen? You have done that. Excellent.
I would love to. Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction and welcome. It's great to be here. So we have a lot to cover today. That's why Danny asked us to kind of take this pause before we dive in. And we're going to get into a lot of strategies. We're going to get into a lot of very specific things that you can and should do to be really successful with courses. Before I get into those, I want to frame our discussion by helping everyone to be on the same page about what you should not do. Because something that Danny and I have both seen is that there's a lot of misconceptions about how to run courses successfully. And in particular, there's kind of 3 big barriers that many people, especially when they're getting started with courses, run into very quickly, and they can bring your efforts to a crashing halt, unfortunately. So I'd like to begin by understanding those barriers, and then we'll transition to what do you do about it? What's the right way to overcome these barriers and to be really successful? The first barrier that we should all understand, we should all be on the same page about, is that just being creative and having interesting content and building and creating great courses is not the same as having a business or actually selling those courses to anyone. And this is a real bummer, and we'll talk more about it, but it's just the facts. The second is that even if you do begin selling courses, in most kind of typical businesses, and I'll give examples, you're going to hit a sort of plateau fairly quickly, and it's really important to understand why and what to do about it. And then the third barrier to understand is, this is more of, I guess, a myth or misconception. There's this really seductive concept that has pulled a lot of people into the world of online courses, and it may have even been the concept that motivated you to follow me or Danny or to sign up for this workshop. And it's the idea that you can earn passive income rather than having to work all the time. And it's a little bit of a myth as to how that works, and I'll explain why. So first, just because you've created a course doesn't mean you'll make any sales. This is what we call the build it and they will come fallacy. And it's honestly some of the most depressing news that I have to deliver. So let's just get it over with. I think many folks here, like me, are driven by the creative aspect of building courses. You love coming up with ideas and creating content and teaching. And that can be the really fun part of getting your course out into the world. Unfortunately, creating a really valuable course in and of itself doesn't mean that you'll make any sales. You have to have a way to get your course in front of the right people at the right time and have effective marketing that pulls them into the course experience and gets them to sign up and enroll and pay. And many course creators that I look at, they're focused on the creative part of it. How do I build a great course? And very much not focused on the sales part of it. How am I actually going to get the course in front of the right people with the right focus who are ready to buy the course and enroll today? So this is a fundamental challenge that we have to address. And the framework I'm going to walk you through over most of this workshop is going to help you address this key challenge. The second key barrier we have to address is that even if you do begin getting some people interested in your course and making some sales, it's common to hit a revenue plateau fairly quickly. And what this means is that it's really important to focus on having a diversified business that is thriving with multiple streams of income, rather than thinking that, okay, I'm just going to build a course, tons of people will buy the course, and that will give me all the money that I need. That does happen for some specific course creators in some specific niches, but most people that we talk to, coaches, consultants, service providers, agencies, they're not reliant just on course revenue. And if you think about it, it's just a matter of kind of cold, hard numbers. Let's say that you're a consultant and over the years, you've built up a list of people who are interested in your work from your speaking and going out and networking. Maybe you have 1,000 people on a mailing list who are interested in your teaching and expertise. You could put together a course and launch it to that list of 1,000 people. And that would be pretty great, right? A lot of people would be excited to be in a position to do that. You might see 20 or so signups from doing that. That would be 2% of 1,000 people on your list. And that's pretty common in our neck of the woods to get 2% conversion rate or 2% of people on your mailing list signing up for a course offer. And in fact, that could be pretty good. So if 20 people signed up and you priced your course at $500, that would be $10,000 in revenue. And that would be fantastic, right? Nobody's turning away an incremental $10,000 in revenue to grow our business. That would be wonderful. The point is, that's probably not going to, in and of itself, let you just stop all your coaching, consulting, and other work and just have a course, right? They're complementary rather than the course simply, being the be all and end all of your business. So it's really important to understand, the mechanics of this, why you're likely to hit a plateau with your course income, unless you get to a really significant scale, and plan to have a business with multiple streams of income. This ties into the third barrier that, there's this seductive idea that we can have some courses up and running on our website, and people will just come in and buy them, every day. And every day we, check our Stripe account or our PayPal account, and it's like, oh, there's new revenue, right? Someone bought my course last night. And it's cool when that can happen. And it can happen if you have the right topic for the right people, and you have a website or other sources of leads coming in. It is possible to create that kind of passive digital revenue. But the reality is most people don't have the traffic to do that, right? You don't have people just randomly discovering you and your work. You have to really engineer that. So marketing and selling your courses isn't passive. It's really active work. It's writing emails, running webinars, getting partners to promote your work, creating an effective sales page. But not only that, less and less are we seeing demand for courses that are just, information that you buy as kind of a digital box, right? Much of the value of a course today is going beyond commodity information that's already out there. It's on blogs, it's on social media, it's on YouTube. The value of online courses today is increasingly in the support and coaching. And if you've read Danny's work on hybrid courses, you know how important that is. But guess what? That's active, also not passive at all, right? The value of the course is in the active support. So that's why passive income is largely a myth, right? Not 100%, but largely a myth. And so we don't want to fixate on passive income. Instead, we want to be focused on smart, active strategies that create a healthy and diversified business. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So just a quick check to see if we're on the same page. Type strategy into the chat, if you would, if these three key barriers are making sense, and if why they're important is making sense, right? These are not just three random barriers. These are the core barriers that we need to address and that we are going to address. Awesome. So it sounds like we're on the same page. So let's look at what to do now. Right? We've diagnosed the problem. I don't want to leave you hanging. Let's look at what are the actual solutions. So the first solution here is not a tactic. It's a different way of understanding the solution space. What we want to do is really step back, right? we don't want to just say, okay, I need a course, right? Everyone's talking about courses. I need one, or I need more leverage in my business. How do I just get a course up and running? We want to first think about, how is a course actually going to help? And that understanding that comes from looking at what we call the customer journey. If you think about someone coming to find you and decide to work with you, they're sort of going on a journey where first they have to hear about you, and then this kind of relationship begins to where they're actually ready to buy a course from you or invest in a coaching package from you. But it's a step-by-step journey that they go on. If we look at this whole problem in the context of your customers going on this journey, it's really going to take us in a much more productive direction. It's going to help us avoid those 3 key barriers we just discussed. And it's going to help us use courses in a way that actually serves your clients. One of the things that really, kind of distresses me or makes me feel like we have to work harder to get these ideas out into the world is that I see people spending a lot of time and effort creating courses that aren't actually working to serve their clients, and so aren't generating any revenue for them either. So we've really got to do better than that. If you put out courses that are genuinely serving your clients and are aligned with what they're asking for, then you're going to be able to grow your business in a healthy and sustainable and profitable way, which is what we're all trying to get to. So it all starts with understanding this model of your customer's journey. I emphasize that it's not just any journey, it's a learning journey, right? Because we're all here because we're interested in learning. We're interested in helping our clients learn something or transform their lives based on information, education, coaching, and support. So in terms of how a customer comes to go on that learning journey with us, they first have to discover your work and understand that, hey, someone is out there, right? This guy, Abe, exists, and he has something to share that I might learn from. We then need to engage more deeply with that person, right? It's one thing, maybe you heard vaguely something about me and that I help people with online courses at some point, right? Maybe you heard about my book or you saw my name mentioned in an interview somewhere. But we don't really have any relationship right at that point. I'm just kind of a concept on the internet that you've heard of. There has to be a deeper process of engagement where you actually build up trust and saying like, hey, it seems like Abe knows what he's talking about when it comes to online courses. Maybe I should be looking at what he has to offer. Once that trust and rapport is built up, then you have the foundation to launch revenue generating offerings, right? Your courses, your coaching, and other offers we'll talk about. The mistake is to rush into this, to think, I have to get revenue, I have to start selling tomorrow. If you don't have the discovery and engagement pieces in place, it's going to be very hard to sell anything. Another key piece of this puzzle that is often missed in the focus on revenue is it's not just enough to sell one thing to one person. You need to retain clients and serve them more deeply over time. We're going to get into a model later as to why that is so impactful on your business. And it can make the difference between having an education-based business that feels really frustrating and unsustainable to one that's working really, really well. And finally, referrals, right? Part of this is just serving your clients well, and naturally that will lead to positive word of mouth, which then leads back to discovery, right? It's feeding your flywheel, bringing in new clients. And some of it comes from engineering referrals. I'll give you some tips and tactics on how to do that as well. So a lot of people have told me that just understanding this framework is really helpful and helps them think about their business in new ways. But what will really make a difference for you is to look at specific strategies you can apply in each of the phases of the learning journey. And you'll try to make this kind of as actionable for you as possible. So let's begin with the first and arguably the most critical phase of the whole process, right? Discovery. How will the right people find you? It's really important to remember that by default, you are invisible. No one knows who you are, what you do, what your expertise is, how you can help. You just don't exist for them until they somehow discover your work. And how people discover your work and your expertise has really changed over time. And that change has accelerated recently, as Danny mentioned, with COVID. It used to be that people often found you through local and in-person channels, right? Going out and speaking at your local chamber of commerce or regional conferences, doing lunch and learns, just going on coffee meetings with people you meet through local events and associations. And that type of local connection is still important and will always continue to work. But increasingly, what we see is people are discovering and they're looking for help online, right? And the way that discovery happens online is through free content. People are looking for, they are searching for, they are browsing on social media, they are asking their friends for content. And so that is the first piece of the puzzle. So content can look like a free mini course that you offer, a free webinar like this one, an email sequence that people can opt into, a video that you create. It's sharing your expertise in education. But it's critically, it's not just creating valuable content, it's distributing it in the world in a way that people can actually stumble across it, right? A wonderful free report on your website doesn't do any good if you don't have any people coming to your website. Whereas if you publish that report through social media, if you're asking colleagues to share it, if you seek out a partner who would actually promote the report to their mailing list, then you have a chance of people actually seeing the report and learning about it. You may have experienced this in the lead up to this workshop. We published a report called Course Money Maps that laid out a number of strategies for using courses. If we just put that report up on our website, I mean, we do have some traffic to our website. A few people would have seen it, but it wouldn't have had any real impact. So instead, we went out and asked our joint venture and affiliate partners to share that report with the world so that it actually gets out to the world through that distribution channel. So this is the first really critical key piece to understand. You need valuable free content, and you need to work to distribute that content widely so that people can actually discover it. There are many ways you can do that. For today, we want to focus on one specific strategy that can be really valuable and is often underutilized. And that's to use free mini courses as your discovery mechanism, what marketers often call a lead magnet, meaning that it pulls people in, right? It attracts the right type of potential clients to you. And there's three really powerful reasons why mini courses work well as lead magnets, as a way for people to discover your work. Many courses have high perceived value, right? You're offering education and learning, not just information. People are really attracted to that. A course is perceived as more valuable than a report or a video. A mini course establishes you as an authority in your niche or your field, right? You're positioning yourself as a teacher, an instructor, a facilitator. That's the most powerful place to position yourself because you're seen as a trusted expert that people should rely on. And crucially, mini courses can go beyond passive content like an ebook or video because they offer opportunities for interaction and feedback. In an online mini course, if you host it on a modern online course platform, you can create discussion problems for people to respond to. You can create assignments even for people to submit privately to you. You can monitor your students' progress and see how well they're engaging with the course. You have an opportunity to support them and to help move them to the next level of the relationship with you in a way that you never can with a passive medium like an ebook, even if it's really great content. So that's why we recommend looking at mini courses as one of your key discovery strategies. And then that leads to the second question, which is, okay, how do you actually get your mini courses or other content out into the world? How do you find the right distribution channels? So this is just going to take some experimentation, some trial and error. I think that sometimes I wish that I could give a specific roadmap here and say like, hey, you just need to promote your mini course in these 3 ways, and then everything is going to be great. But that's not how it works because everyone's audience is unique. You're all trying to reach different people. Those of you who are maybe executive coaches serving senior executives, you need to reach them in a different way than someone who is a health coach, working with young mothers, let's say, to improve their health and lose weight. Those are just very different audiences, and you're going to reach them in different ways. So the way to get started is to list a bunch of promising channels and then begin to systematically test them one by one. A channel could mean something like, hey, I think I have a lot of relationships from my corporate career. And these people that I know from different organizations and associations, they might be willing to host me on a webinar or promote my mini course. And so I'm going to reach out to those potential partners. Or a channel could be like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at writing, interesting, fun social media posts that people respond to. So I'm really going to, I'm going to write consistently interesting, engaging posts on LinkedIn and see what kind of response I can get to them. So you have to do this in, again, a systematic way, right? Don't think about trying something once, like posting once on Facebook or reaching out to one partner. That's not a test, really. Think of more like a 4 to 6 week sprint where you work consistently on that particular distribution channel over that period of time and see if you can make it work, right? See if you start getting any significant responses from that consistent LinkedIn posting over 6 weeks. Or if you reach out to 3, 5, 7 partners every week for 6 weeks, do you get any traction or not? And if not, you move on to the next idea. So I want to now pull this back to what is the impact for you? What difference would this make for you in your work? And I want to give you a moment to reflect on this question. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to share your responses in what is hopefully a fun and interesting new way to do it. So I'm going to give you this question of how many new clients do you need each month? And I'm going to give you a kind of fun new way to share that. So we've set up a tool here called Slido. And this is going to be new because in our past workshops, what we've always done is just ask people to share your responses in the Zoom chat. But we always like to kind of innovate and be pushing the cutting edge. And what we noticed about the Zoom chat is like, it just gets really crowded, right? There's a million responses kind of flying by. It gets pretty messy. And so what we're going to give you instead is a link that you can click. And then you'll be able to type in your response. And then we, as the facilitators, will be able to see all your responses in like a nice, easy, organized way. And it's going to be really help us to facilitate the webinar. And hopefully it'll make the chat feel a lot less messy for all of you as well. So Molly's going to post a link to Slido in the chat. In fact, she already has. So go ahead and click that or tap that and just let us know that it works for you. You should see that link open up. And then I'm going to give you 2 minutes to respond to the question in Slido, and then we'll review. And as you're doing that, I'm just going to pause my screen share and make sure that I can see the answers as well. But I think that I should be able to. So Molly, maybe you want to post the link again. A couple of people saying they're not seeing it. So let's just post it again so it's sort of top of mind for folks. And then everyone, if you're not seeing the link, make sure that you're looking at the chat in Zoom. And in that chat, you should see the link that you can then click on if you're on a computer or tap on if you're on an iPad or mobile phone. And I can post it again as well. Yeah. So the question is on, when you click the link, you'll see the question reiterated, but the question is, how many new clients would you like to bring in per month? And I'm giving us a little extra time since we're setting up the Slido. And also because when I paused the screen share, I didn't realize that it paused the timer. So that was a good lesson to learn. So we've still got a minute left. So you should be able to type in your answer and then see everyone else's responses after you submit. So for anyone who's not able to post in Slido, if you have a technical problem or whatever, feel free to share your answer in the Zoom chat, instead as a fallback. That would be fine. So one other thing I'll mention about Slido for those who are in there is it's fine to submit anonymously if you want to. But if you don't mind, if you just click on where it says anonymous, you can type in your name, and that way we can see folks' actual names and reply back to your questions, based on your actual name as well. So if you have a moment to do that, that would be great, but also fine to submit anonymously. But it looks like we're getting close to 300 responses in Slido, so that is really great. All right, awesome. So thanks, folks, for going on this experimental journey with us. Didn't think it would be totally seamless, and it wasn't, but it seems like it mostly worked pretty well. So thanks for innovating with us. And so what I'm seeing is, people would love to be bringing in, 3, 5, 10, 15 to 20 clients a month would be very successful. And one of the things I think you can infer from that is you don't need some massive discovery or distribution strategy, right? You just need to be getting your content out in places where you can attract a few of the right focused people that you want to work with each month. So to help make that more concrete and to show you what effective discovery and an effective customer learning journey would look like in practice, I'm going to walk you through an example, and then we'll refer back to this example as we go through the rest of your customer learning journey. So I'd like to introduce you to Jane. Jane is not a real person, but very much grounded in the real experiences of hundreds of coaches and consultants that we've talked to. So she's a composite based on very real data and experiences. And just for fun, her photo here, which to me looks totally real, let me know what you think, but it's actually AI generated based on a composite of millions of different people's photos. So welcome to Jane, the synthetic coach. So let's learn about Jane's coaching business. So like a lot of coaches, she really loves working with clients. Her specialty is kind of career coaching, but with a broader lens, right? Helping people also with broader life goals, helping them design a life and career they love. And also, like a lot of coaches, her revenue is really driven by those private coaching engagements. Although she's also offered workshops here and there. But where she is in her business is she really wants to grow beyond this stage. She wants to keep coaching. She loves the coaching. And in fact, she wants coaching clients coming in consistently. But she also wants to diversify her revenue. She wants those thriving multiple streams of income. So she's less dependent on coaching, it can be feast or famine, right? You can have a really strong November and then December is slow because people are busy with the holidays. She wants more consistency and diversity of revenue. And ultimately, she does want to start better leveraging her time, right? She enjoys coaching, but can also see, hey, her calendar is getting maxed out, right? She needs to start better leveraging her time. So what should Jane do? We're going to look at her strategies for each of the phases of the customer learning journey as we go along, but let's start with discovery. So the first strategy Jane could look at would just be enhancing her discovery so she's reaching more of the right clients. That's going to help her both to have a very steady flow of the coaching that she enjoys, and it's going to start building toward a future where she can have other offerings to those people that are coming in. That all starts with discovery. So she can enhance her discovery process by rolling out a free mini course that aligns with the type of clients she wants to attract and work with, And then again, she's got to distribute that, right? So she's got to share that consistently. So she could start perhaps with her personal network and social media posts, doing that 4 to 6 week sprint where she's going to post consistently through those networks. And her mini course might look something like this: goals done right, how to set goals that really matter to you. She knows that her clients really struggle with goal setting. So this could be something that's really helpful for her clients, and it's something that she could put together. This would be like a free on-demand course that she would offer in a self-study model, right? Because people are not going to wait around for her to just run a free course. If they've just heard about her work, they want to sign up and get something of value right away. But she could also include that interactivity that we talked about, the option to ask her questions, so that it's going beyond the passive experience of just an ebook, for example. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment to now apply this framework to your situation and think about what topic would fit really well for you. So for example, if you're a business coach, you might identify a course on helping small business owners set revenue goals for the coming year. That could be a great, lead magnet mini course to help people discover you. Or if you're a health coach, you might do, for example, a course on beating fatigue and getting more energy. So take 3 minutes now, and we'll try it in Slido, see how that goes. We'll give you the link for that. Take 3 minutes to identify what would be a course topic for you that would be a really good discovery mini course, like the example we have of Jane's Goals Done Right course. What would that look like for you? So take 3 minutes for that now, and share your answers with us in Slido. While folks are typing their answers, there's a question about how long a mini course can be. We can talk about that more, in the Q&A later too, if you'd like. But the short answer is it should be pretty short and focused, right? So the idea of a mini course is try to get someone to kind of one small outcome or a sort of small piece of, like, give them a bit of momentum, right? The mini course should not be going into deeper transformation or solving bigger problems, because that's the point of your paid offerings. But it should be helping people get some type of smaller but concrete result, or get some type of momentum or motivation, so they're interested in working more with you. So think about your mini courses like being very short and focused, but also not just presenting information, but helping people move forward so that they are then wanting to move forward even more. So seeing tons of examples coming in, which is great. 3 keys to getting focused while reading, how to manage and master your stress, how to use Reiki for healing your past issues, the art and craft of journaling, top reasons why sales processes fails, how to pick a goal that moves you toward the life you feel you're meant to achieve, how to get more done in a shorter amount of time, elevating your wedding guest experience. I like how specific and focused that one is. Identify your own unique stress symptoms, create abundance using your expertise as a coach. Awesome. Yeah, thanks everyone. Tons of great topics and examples there. So seems like this is really clicking for you all. So good news, we've got the foundation in place, right? You understand people need to find you, they need to discover your work and expertise, and you're putting together mini courses and other offerings that are going to help make that happen. That's the first piece of the puzzle. Second piece of the puzzle. Then what? Okay, so someone finds you, they sign up for your free mini course. That's great. But how do we get it to the point where they actually trust you enough so that they're ready to invest in a paid offering from you that could be a significant investment? This is the engagement phase of your customer journey. It's about going beyond discovery to build a more trust-based relationship. So that can come about in a couple of ways. One is through nurture content, right? So providing content that educates and engages your potential client beyond that initial discovery experience. That can look like email nurture campaigns that we'll talk about, building community. It could be running webinars, other ways to just connect with and support people. So that could be free, or it may involve very focused low-cost offers that get people to take that first step into becoming a paying customer. So for nurture content, the first strategy we encourage you to focus on here is having an engaging and educational sequence of emails that builds on your mini course. One of the big kind of mistakes or problems we see with mini courses and other forms of discovery content is lack of follow-up after the initial content. I often see this myself. I'll hear about someone's work on a podcast or something and decide to check out what they have. And often they do have that lead magnet or discovery offering on their website. So I'll go to their website and I will sign up to get their free report, free video. Interestingly, not many of them are doing a free mini course. They should, pay attention, but usually they have something to offer. So I sign up, I get the free content, and then what happens? Usually I get some kind of welcome email or saying, thanks for downloading my free report. But it's pretty rare that I get consistent and interesting and helpful emails after that are building a relationship. So it's really valuable if you do this. So just an example of how we do this in our own courses. So we have a free discovery course. Our lead magnet is called 5 Steps to Your Online Course. So a free training that we put out through our channels. And then after someone signs up for this free course, which is hosted on our platform, Rizuku, we're then making sure to send them a sequence of follow-up emails to keep them engaged. So what that sequence looks like, just to give you a concrete picture of this, is just kind of moving from welcoming people into the course and encouraging them to check it out, and then following up with like, hey, we have more to offer, right? We can talk to you about your course ideas. We have tips and tools to share with you. We give you motivation and inspiration because we know building a course is hard work. And then we just send reminders of what we have to offer and how we can help. So there's nothing magical about this. It's just that having this consistent follow-up keeps us top of mind with people. It shows them that we're serious about helping them. It's a lot more effective than just offering the free course without the emails backing it up. The second engagement strategy you can go with is moving from free to paid. So if you think about answering this question, what's the next small step that your potential client could take to make progress? If you're a productivity coach, maybe that's a professionally designed daily planning tool that would help people get control of their daily schedule. If you're a mindfulness coach, maybe that's a collection of guided meditations that they can use to reduce stress every day. And if you're a business coach, maybe that would be a short online course on defining your ideal customer. Any kind of offer like this, it should be affordable, right? Typically $20 to $100, because we want to be low risk, right? Someone needs to be able to sign up for this and not worry about, oh gosh, it's such a big investment. What if it doesn't work out? It needs to be kind of a no-brainer purchase, but it's helping them move from just consuming your free content to being a paying customer. And that's a big and important step. So what can Jane do to bolster her engagement strategy, now that she's already working on improving discovery through her free mini course? So she could build on her mini course with a nurture email sequence, right? She's got to have that consistent follow-up. We talked about why that's important. And specifically, she could also look at inviting people to book a free discovery call so they can get to know, Jane and the potential client can build a relationship, right? That's the action she wants them to take. They may not take it tomorrow, right? They may not take it right after signing up for her free mini course, but she wants to get on the phone with people, talk to them, build that relationship. when they are ready. So that would look like mapping out a sequence of emails and then sending those automatically to people who sign up. All right, so I want to give you now 3 minutes to apply this to your situation as well. And what I'll ask you to do here is let's focus more on this course side of engagement. So think about a course, or if you come up with another product idea, that would be fine too. But start with a course idea that would be relevant to your engagement phase. So helping people develop more of a rapport with you, that they're going beyond just that free mini course. What would be that next step that they could take in learning with you that would deepen the engagement and set them up for a paid offer? And again, this is just brainstorming, right? So don't worry about this being too exact or precise at this point. But just want to hear your initial thoughts on what would be a course idea that would help develop engagement with your potential clients and move them forward towards wanting to work with you. And you can share that in Slido as well. Yeah, seeing a bunch of options here: how to build scaling strategies into your business, success for eating with stress, how the ability to visualize is connected to a project's success, a course on how to perform course validation. What does it mean to be a leader? Organization tips and goal setting. Communicate your anxiety in a way that develops empathy. Get out of acute pain with 3 methods. Improving communication in your relationships. 3 quick and effective ways to decrease daily distress. How to think of play and lightness as a new paradigm for their life. That sounds fun. How to find a sci-tech policy job. Meal prepping with ease. That sounds very practical. Learning how to meditate. Mastering LinkedIn to get commercial cleaning contracts. Wow, actually, that one may win the prize for most specific so far. Love the focus there. Improving English pronunciation and clarity. Goal setting for the next phase of your life and moving forward. Hearing a lot of goal setting personal goals to thrive in life, which is great. Everyone needs help with setting effective goals. Strengthen your leadership, authority, and presence. Simple ways to connect with your intuition. But yes, just to be contrarian, Chris has why goals don't work, but that sounds like a fun course too. So I like it. It's a counter programming against everything else. Working from home, avoid the top 5 distractions, overcoming obstacles through brainstorming. A lot of cool ideas here. Five exercises for financial freedom that will change your future. Stress less and live a happier life. And the biggest mistakes coaches make in session. Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. This is really great stuff. So hopefully you're seeing how this is, I'm hoping this is helpful. Like, my goal here is to help you see that in not that much time, right? In just a few minutes of taking some time to map this out for yourself, you've already got concrete ideas for how you can improve your discovery process, start bringing in more potential leads and clients, and then ideas for how you can develop that engagement phase and really build meaningful relationships and move forward to being able to have paid offerings. It's really critical that we spend the time to do that, because it's so tempting to just jump right into this third phase, the revenue phase of your customer learning journey and just say like, I need to sell stuff, right? I need revenue. But the key takeaway I really want you to have and to write down or make note of is you can't make the revenue phase work unless you have the discovery and engagement phases in place first. But once you have put those pieces in place, you can really dig into this question. What are the paid offers that will best serve your clients, best serve your community of learners, the people you are helping to learn and develop? And there's a number of different options you could explore here, but I want to walk you through 4 options. Those are having a flagship online course, a leveraged coaching program or method, a membership offering, and then live events. So let's start with a flagship course. And, it's really important to distinguish what we mean by a flagship course. A flagship online course, in our view, is a course that is focused on learning outcomes and structured in a way that helps people achieve results rather than just delivering information, even if it's really useful and helpful information, right? Information is not enough. We want to help people move forward and achieve results. To do that, it really helps to provide depth over breadth, right? So not a general survey of an area, but going deep into a specific approach, specific techniques, and specific actions people can take. And it also often helps to have it be a cohort-based experience where people join a group and participate together on the same schedule. That's not mandatory, but it does have the highest potential for engagement and depth of learning and peer motivation. And most commonly, flagship courses are actively facilitated. So again, it's not passive income, right? That's the bad news. But the good news is because it's actively facilitated, when you include coaching, support, community, or some combination of those, that's what makes it really valuable to participants. And it's what merits these higher end price points that we're seeing. Just as an example, I've been watching kind of different course launches going around in different areas. One I saw was in the area of sort of personal information management, keeping track of all your information online. Another one was about like writing online, like having an interesting newsletter, building an audience through your writing and social media. Out of curiosity, what would you guess as to the price point of a flagship cohort-based course on how to write online more effectively, grow your newsletter, build an audience, et cetera? We don't have to do a slider for this one, just post in the chat. What would you guess as the price point for this type of course on how to write online, grow your audience, et cetera? Just curious, what comes top of mind for people. And answers are kind of all over the map. I'm seeing everything from under $100 or under $50, all the way up to a few $100s, and a couple people, guessing, high price points in the thousands of dollars. But most people, I would say, are under 1,000. In actuality, this course launched with 2 price points, a standard tier at 4,000, and then a kind of high-end or VIP tier with some more support and additional content at 7,000. So just examples, not saying you should charge $7,000 for your course necessarily, but it shows the pricing that is possible if you create a flagship course that is really valuable and meets a need. So there's a lot of potential here. Second model we encourage you to look at is leverage coaching. Now, just regular coaching, typically through one-on-one calls or Zoom or video conference sessions, it's a great model. It's something that I've enjoyed doing myself because you get to help people directly and see their progress and results, and that's really satisfying. So post, out of curiosity, post coach in the chat if you consider yourself primarily a coach, or if you do like some coaching as part of your work. So either like it says on your business card, literally you're a coach, or you don't call yourself a coach, but it's an important part of what you do. Post coach in the chat. And yeah, tons and tons of people doing that. It's even if it's not your full-time thing, there's generally opportunity to do it in some way. But there's this inherent challenge with coaching, right? Which is the lack of ability to leverage your time, right? You are inherently trading sort of your time for the client's value and results. And so one way that you can start to move beyond this is to set up leverage coaching programs using the structure and capabilities of an online course platform. And this has the potential to, double or more, sometimes much more, the leverage you can have. So if you think about starting with a baseline where you're offering 12 sessions of private one-on-one coaching in a typical package. So someone signs up for your breakthrough coaching program, and what they get is 12 calls with you over a period of several weeks or months. What you can do to better leverage that work is to create a structured program on your online course platform where you have content, techniques, worksheets, and activities and assignments for people to complete in advance of meeting with you. You might combine that with weekly email check-ins, so you're giving them check-ins and accountability. They're not feeling like they're just doing this on their own. And then you're still meeting with them one-on-one, but you could potentially reduce those 12 sessions to 6 because they're doing so much more of the work and making so much more progress on their own. So that's doubling your leverage right there if you're going for 12 sessions to 6 for the same package with the same or potentially even greater results, right? Because you have more time for the participant to dive deep into these activities and assignments on their own. You can then further leverage that approach if you work with small groups, right? If you think about expanding from, okay, I have to meet with every client privately, what if you can enroll a group of 4 people? So still very small, very intimate. They can have access to that structured program on your online course platform. And then you meet with the small groups 6 times over the course of the program. They're still getting a lot of hands-on support from you. They're still getting tremendous value, and they may also learn more deeply from the group experience than they did one-on-one. And there you've gone from double the leverage of your initial package to 8 times the leverage, right? Doubling it by reducing the session density and then quadrupling it by working with a group of 4. So you can play with the numbers for your specific situation, but there's tremendous power here if you can design the right format. Third revenue model to look at is memberships. This is an important option, but I'd say generally for much more advanced businesses. Not necessarily what I would recommend jumping into right away. You have to put a lot of time into developing an effective membership model and offer, and it requires ongoing content creation support to make it valuable for people and to justify the recurring income that it provides. So I would mainly dive into researching this more if you're already at kind of a good place in your business and looking to go to the next level. A final revenue opportunity that I think sometimes gets a bit overlooked is the power of live events. This was really critical for many education and service-based businesses pre-COVID and kind of got wiped off the map, but is then coming back in the form of virtual events, which many of you may have attended. You may have gone, for example, to Miracy's Lift or Teacher Gift Live or Impact events, and or maybe the Riziku Summit that we hosted. Either way, the benefit is in the intensity of the container, right? Rather than having to say, okay, I'm committing to this 12-week coaching program or this 6-week cohort-based course. It could be a 1 or 2 or 3 day experience where you get great intensity and results in a short period of time. And that can be very appealing to a lot of people. So I definitely encourage you to look at, if you're not doing that already, are there opportunities to add in-person or online or both types of events to your revenue model? So those are the 4 core strategies, plus a fun bonus. The bonus strategy, get ready, this is going to be very, very meta. The bonus strategy is using bonuses. So what I mean by that is if you create self-study courses that people can go through on their own, and those should be on kind of very focused, specific topics, you can use those courses as bonuses to strengthen any of your other offers, right? Your flagship course, your leverage coaching program, your events, other offers you create. You can add a specific course as a bonus to make the whole offer more compelling and easier to sell. So for example, if you're a business coach, you might have a core business coaching program, but you see that, again, that your clients struggle with setting effective goals. So you add that self-study course on setting and achieving goals to enhance your business coaching program offer. It not only makes the offer more compelling and easier to sell, it actually helps your clients get better results because they're going to be defining their goals more effectively in the context of your coaching program. So what will this look like for Jane? So remembering that Jane's goals are to diversify her revenue beyond that one-on-one coaching and to start better leveraging her time, what revenue strategies should she pursue to achieve those goals? So Jane could launch a leveraged group coaching program, and that would serve those people who want an alternative to high-end one-on-one private coaching with her. And it would give her a scheduled offer that she can launch at specific points during the year. That's really powerful because it gives deadlines, right? One of the challenges with coaching is you can sign up for it anytime, which means you can just keep putting it off. You can just keep rolling it, down to the next month, the next quarter, the next year. So Jane's leverage group program might look something like this: surfing the waves of life, finding your ideal career in life. And so this would be a small group program, say up to maybe 12-ish participants who all join by a set deadline and go through the program together. So they're learning from each other as well as from Jane. So the goal here is still transformation, like she would offer in her private coaching, but in a different format. And this would still be a high-end offer, right? I could see it being anywhere from $500 to $5,000, depending on how Jane positions it and what her reputation is and so on. And again, it's not passive, right? It's not 12 weeks of, hey, you get a nice video each week and good luck with that. It's 12 weeks of, yes, there's content, but you're completing assignments that Jane is giving you feedback on. You're having weekly webinars and small group discussions in the course. It's very highly facilitated and interactive to coach people to results. So that's the core revenue phase of your customer learning journey. Now let's round out the model by understanding kind of the back end. What happens after someone is signing up for a revenue generating program, after they sign up for your flagship course, after they sign up for your leveraged coaching program? What happens after that? Really critical to dig into this and to answer this question. I think this is one of the most neglected and overlooked questions in this entire process. How can you serve your clients and better grow revenue over time? To help you think through this, I want to introduce a concept. If you're not familiar with this, it's probably one of the most important concepts I've encountered in all of marketing and business: customer lifetime value. It's just how much revenue do you earn from your average client over the lifetime of how long they work with you, whether that's 6 months or 6 years. The reason this is so critical is there's massive differences between a low customer lifetime value and a high customer lifetime value. A low customer lifetime value business might look something like this. Let's say that you have a website that's getting some traffic from some blog posts that you've written and reputation you have in your field. People come and check you out. And so you get 100 customers, let's say, signing up for your offering over the course of the year. And let's further say that that offering is a self-study online course. So good news is it's passive income, yay. And you get 100 people signing up, $50 average cost, $5,000 in total revenue. And in this case, your revenue is the same as your customer lifetime value because there's nothing else happening after that they purchase that self-study course. So the good news is you got 100 customers. The bad news is this is not at all a sustainable business. You can't make an income off of $5,000 a year in revenue, even though it was totally passive income. You've got to do better, right? You've got to have a higher customer lifetime value. If you had the same 100 customers, but a $5,000 customer lifetime value, then you would have $500,000 in total customer lifetime value. How would you have $5,000 in lifetime value? Well, maybe customers first sign up for a flagship course. That might be $500, $1,000 or more. I mean, the example we looked at, it was $7,000, but that's maybe a little on the high end. But this would be a substantial investment. But then the key is don't stop there, right? After the flagship course, what can people do next? Can you have a follow-up advanced program that builds on the core skills from the flagship course and is an additional, hundreds or a couple of $1,000s? And then after people complete the advanced program, can they be invited into an alumni membership program where they pay, $20, $50, $100 a month to get continued access to your ideas, to ongoing support from you, and a community of like-minded people. And someone who sticks around in that membership, for months or longer, that would be hundreds or thousands of dollars in additional revenue there as well. So again, the exact mix is going to depend on the specific situation, but getting to $5,000 in customer lifetime value for an education-based business is, very possible if you put all these strategies in place. So how do you do that? How do you increase your customer lifetime value? You're going to do it by designing an effective retention path for your clients, meaning how you retain and work with them over a period of time rather than just having a one-shot offer. Designing your retention path is just about asking this question and going deeper and deeper until you have the right answers. The question is, what's the next step, right? So look at it from your customer's point of view. Put yourself in your customer's shoes. What are they asking? What is the next step for them? What are they struggling with? If you keep asking that and digging into what does my client need next, you're going to get to some really interesting solutions. So your retention path should include a sequence of offerings, including higher ticket, more higher priced offerings. It should consider upsells so for adding value to people buying a program. And it should potentially incorporate continuity programs. So that would be the example of a mastermind or alumni membership program that people can stick with over time. So let's look at examples. Rizuku's retention path. So when we were more focused on kind of paid training, premium training for course creators, this is what our retention path looked like. People would opt into our lead magnet. That's what I already shared, the 5 steps to your online course. And then we had a paid offer coming into those people. 30 days to your online course. That was a $497 group program to help you define and launch your online course idea. What we saw then was that people had more questions, right? They needed help not just with creating the course, but with marketing it effectively. So that led us to design an advanced follow-up program, no empty seats, to help people market and sell their course effectively. That was the next step on our retention path. Then we looked for, okay, what's the next step after that? What problems or questions do people have in the marketing program? Well, some people understood the marketing concepts, but needed help customizing them and implementing them in their specific situation. So they really needed consulting, right? So the next step then on the retention path was to progress into private consulting. What I found really interesting about this when we did a launch around this model was it was the back end of this path, the marketing program and the consulting, that actually generated about 50% of the total revenue. So if we hadn't had the retention path, if we just had the initial paid course, our revenue would have been cut in half. One more example, just to drive this home, what does Miracy's retention path look like? People come into the free discovery program. That's the Course Builders Bootcamp, totally free to learn about course building. Then they can progress into the paid hybrid course university for in-depth training on building a effective and successful hybrid course. From there, you can progress into the alumni membership, the Teacher Gift Pro membership with ongoing content and community and strategies. And then from there to a paid event, the Teacher Gift Live event that goes into even more depth, but more importantly, it's the intensity of the experience, right? It's 3 days of being really focused on these topics. And then from Teacher Gift Live, people can progress into the ACES business coaching program, which you're really only ready for if you've got some of these foundations in place. And that's what leads also to much higher customer lifetime value, because these higher end offers are so impactful for that over time. All right, so real quick, what are the actual models for incorporating into your retention path, into your customer lifetime value? Upsells and continuity, right? And membership programs and accountability and masterminds. So what's the right mix of these? That's going to be very specific to your situation. The important thing is to think through each of them and make sure you're not overlooking opportunities. Let me give you a quick example. One of my favorite business authors is David Allen, who wrote the productivity book, Getting Things Done. Great book on just how to organize your life and work. Very successful book, best-selling, made him tons of money. And he could have just had the book. But he would have been missing a huge opportunity, which is that people who bought the book wanted to learn more. They wanted to go deeper. They wanted to get their questions answered. They wanted more content and strategies on productivity. So he launched his GTD Connect community, which allowed people to pay monthly to continue that learning journey beyond the book. I know because I joined that membership, and I probably spent something like $2,000 over 3 years being in that membership, participating in the forum, learning strategies from him and his coaches. So he could have just sold me like a $12 paperback book. Instead, his customer lifetime value for me as a customer was over $2,000 because he had the membership program to offer. It didn't have to be a membership program. It could have been a flagship cohort-based course. I would have taken that too, right? So it's not about that specific offer. It's about that he thought through, okay, this is my retention path. This is what people are going to need from me after they take that first step. Another example, very commonly, people need help with implementation, with sticking with something that is hard. If they take your course or go through their coaching program, are they then going to have it completely mastered and never need any help again? Unlikely, right? If someone takes your health coaching course, they learn your strategies for better sleep and losing weight. 6 weeks later, are they going to be perfectly implementing those sleep and healthy eating strategies in their life every day? Very, very unlikely. So that's where an accountability program or more of a mastermind type experience can be really valuable, providing a forum where people can be accountable to you or to a coach or to peers or some combination of that, right? But the key is they're feeling supported. They're feeling like, hey, I have someone to answer to. I need to share my progress every week. I'm not alone. And we know that people make much more progress when they feel like they're not alone. So that's the final piece to look at, including in your personal retention path is there a way to help keep people accountable and supported and on track as they move forward? So let's give you time now to answer this key question. What opportunities do you see to increase your customer lifetime value? So what are the opportunities to improve your retention path? So we'll give you a Slido link for this one to keep it nice and organized. But again, if you're having trouble with Slido, you can post in the chat instead. So 3 minutes, what opportunities do you see to increase your customer lifetime value? Definitely seeing the mastermind idea resonating. A bunch of people posting that they're excited about offering that to their clients. So that's cool. Ongoing support with maintenance, supplements, and program tweaking. So yeah, it's also an interesting example because it's good to think through what specifically do your clients, your participants need help with, and how can you provide that customized support? So if you're helping people with supplements, you would customize your support to that need. If you're helping people with writing a book, you would customize your support to that need. Also seeing a lot of interest in group coaching or group sessions of different kinds, which is great. I should mention too, in case folks are getting antsy, that we are going to give you a break soon. So don't worry that we're not going to go the rest of the whole workshop nonstop without a break. So if you're feeling like, hey, we're kind of getting to the halfway point here and I'm getting a little antsy, don't worry. We do have a break planned. once we get through one more topic. So there are folks sharing lots of different variations on kind of group sessions, group coaching, problem solving group sessions. Seems like the big theme here is some sort of group model. A lot of people are excited about that, which is great. Awesome. So thanks everyone for sharing. So let's bring this all together with the final phase of the customer learning journey, and then what is the impact that this is going to have. So the final piece of the journey is referrals, which is about how can your clients spread the word about you. And fundamentally, there's no secret here, right? The secret is just do really good work, help your clients be successful, and they will naturally want to talk about you. But you can also really jumpstart that process and just doing some simple things that I often see overlooked. What you can do is just reach out and interview your clients, right? Reach out to people after they complete your course or coaching program or attend your event and ask them some open-ended questions, ideally on a call, but you could also do this by email. What led you to consider my course? What was your problem or motivation? What did you try to solve this before, if anything? What have been the results for you? What are you looking forward to next? So you're understanding why are people coming to you and what are they getting out of working with you? And then based on that, you can just develop simple case studies that show the value of your work. Publish those case studies on your website and blog, share them on social media. And you can also ask your clients to share them too. Like, hey, I had a wonderful time working with June. Here's the great results she got out of it. And then, tag her and ask her to share if she's comfortable. But just the key piece that we often see people skipping over is just having these interviews and case studies really demonstrates the credibility of your work, and that leads to more referrals. And then secondly, this is going to sound so basic and obvious, but again, people don't do it. Just ask for help, right? As they say, if you don't ask, you won't get. Think about how can you ask your previous clients, people you've worked with, for ways to spread the word, right? If you're planning a promotion of a course or an event or a leverage coaching program, take some time to make a list of who are all your past clients. Can you email them, call them, text them, message them on social media, and just say, hey, I have this cool new thing coming out. Is there any way you can, spread the word? Can you share it on your LinkedIn? Do you have anyone that you think might be interested? Even if only a few of those people respond and a few of them spread the word, that's far better than nothing. And it can have very significant impact because it's a personal referral coming from them. So just don't forget the value of simply asking for help. So let's pull this all together. Now we covered a lot. So I want to make sure that the overall framework is understandable and applicable. The key takeaway here is that we want to avoid just creating a course without a strategy. Instead, you want to use courses thoughtfully, intentionally to support your customer's learning journey across all 5 of these phases. That means having magnetic self-study courses for discovery that pull people in, the so-called lead magnet mini courses. It means having trust-building nurture programs, either free or low cost, in the engagement phase to deepen that relationship, and then building into transformative learning experiences through flagship courses and coaching that merit, investment from people in your revenue phase, and then having the right continuity and community offerings that are increasing your customer lifetime value and deepening how you help and serve your clients over time. This is a powerful model, but it also sounds like a lot of work when we put it all together like this, right? You may be thinking, is this really justified, like having to go through all these phases, build all these different types of courses? Is it really worth it? And if you looked at it in isolation, right, one phase at a time, you might actually conclude that it's not worth it. Maybe at the discovery phase, I put out some new mini courses, I get, say, 20% more leads. Maybe if, working on my engagement phase, I get 15% more conversions from having that focused low-cost course offering. put out a new revenue generating offer, the flagship course, the coaching program generates 30% more revenue. And then I increase my customer lifetime value. Maybe 25% or so would be a reasonable starting point if I add a continuity offer or a follow-up program. I mean, this all sounds nice, right? It's not like we don't want to increase our revenue by 25%, but it doesn't seem like all that game changing in isolation. But here's what's interesting. Take these numbers, which I feel like are pretty reasonable conservative numbers for what you could do if you really work on each of these phases. Multiply them together, and you'll see that comes out to a 224% increase in total revenue from the cumulative impact of these improvements across all of the phases. And that to me is the big impact of all of this, the big takeaway for you to reflect on as we get ready for our break is how significant this could really be for your work and your business if you are able to make that level of improvement. So we are going to move into the break, but we want to give you a reflective exercise in addition to just giving you time to get some coffee and so on. So over the break, we'll invite you to reflect on this question. What is your biggest opportunity? And we're going to put a little spin on it because it's very, very natural and intuitive to immediately say, oh, my biggest opportunity is in revenue and to have better revenue generating offerings. But as we've emphasized, people often fixate too much on the revenue phase, ignoring the importance of the foundational phases of discovery and engagement and the importance of increasing customer lifetime value. So to challenge you to broaden your thinking, we're going to ask you to skip over the revenue phase and just focus on the other four: discovery, engagement, retention, and referral. And what we'd ask you to do is to place those phases in order of importance for your particular situation. So for example, if your biggest opportunity is retaining more of your existing clients, you'd put retention as priority number one. Does that make sense? And we're going to give you a Slido link where you can actually rank those phases in a ranking poll. And you can do that anytime over the next 15 minutes as we go to our break. And yeah, I'm ready to stop talking. So I'm excited to have a 15-minute break. Danny, I'll keep this on my screen, or do you want to take it back to your screen?
Why don't you run the timer on your screen? And at the top of the timer, I'll grab the screen back and continue with the next step.
Cool, sounds great. So thanks everyone for all the great questions and engagement. That was a lot of fun. And we will see you back here in 15 minutes.
Abe, the timer appears to have stalled at 2 minutes and 34 seconds, but I feel like we're coming right down. So we'll just give it a little bit longer and
Yeah,
then
I
we
can,
will jump
sorry
back
about that. I
in.
can fast forward.
It's all good. It's all good.
I keep forgetting about that behavior. It gets me every time. It's so counterintuitive.
We are down now magically to 60 seconds and less. So everyone should be making their way back to their computer. Hopefully the break was refreshing and rejuvenating. You've recharged and you are ready for us to dive back in, because we've only covered a little more than half of the time that we are going to be covering today.
And we have a ton more to share.
We do. All right, so I'm going to take back control of the screen. There we go. All right, if you can hear me, if you are ready, put the word ready into the chats. I will know that everyone is here and paying attention, and we are good to go. And I see a lot of people are ready. Wonderful. That is what I like to see. Good for you for being here and fully engaged. An hour and 45 minutes in. That's awesome. So, all right, we've covered a lot of ground. And when I say we, I mean mostly Abe, has covered a lot of ground so far. He has talked about your customer's learning journey and all the different steps along the way. So discovery, engagement, revenue, retention, and referral. Up next, in the second half of our program, we're going to talk about 2 categories of course expertise, 4 keys to cutting-edge course design. You're going to get a walkthrough of the Rizuku technology, which is how you can get all this up and running so quickly. But before all of that, there is another elephant in the room that I would like us to address. So you've just heard from Abe over the last hour and a half or so, talking about all the different places where you can fit an online course into your business. It would be very reasonable if you're wondering to yourself, Danny, Abe, I mean, how will I possibly find the time to build all these courses? I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot of work when I thought I was going to build one course. And now I've got a whole library to create. Like, how am I possibly going to do this? And to answer that question, I want to bring up a very polarizing beverage, which is the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. So if you're a fan, put PSL into the chat. If you're not a fan, then just don't, which is why I will not. I'm personally not a fan, but people love it or they hate it. And many people look forward to and wait until this time of year every year just because of the drink. It's a coffee that the people who love it describe as irresistible, and it pulls people into the stores. And it is a big part of what drives the results that Starbucks has as a business. It is the unique coffee drinks that they prepare and deliver. Now, coffee is not the only thing that Starbucks sells, right? Starbucks sells all kinds of baked goods, but nobody goes to Starbucks because of their unique special, croissants or buns or cookies or whatever it is, right? They go to Starbucks because of the coffee. That's what Starbucks is known for, and they've invested in a massive global supply chain to be able to make that happen. And then they source the pastries from local distributors. But compare that to the sort of local bakery that you can find in many towns. There's one close to my house called Premier Moisson, and all the baked goods there are spectacular. Now, they also sell coffee, but they do not have a global supply chain of coffee. They just, they get a good supplier and they get the coffee from that supplier. They outsource what is not their core competence, just like Starbucks does. And if you think about it, this lesson kind of generalizes everywhere. It's very rare for companies to do everything by themselves in-house, right? They focus on what is their core competency, the thing that they're really good at, and they outsource the rest. So if this is making sense, put the word outsource into the chat. If you're like, okay, yeah, I get it, right? If I'm a bakery and this is my thing, I'm going to focus on making great bread and great, baked goods. I'll get the coffee from a supplier. No big deal. I can get it from the grocery store. right? Awesome. Okay, so we all understand the basic idea. You do yourself what only you can do. You can outsource the rest. So how does this apply specifically to online courses? Well, there are two distinct approaches to using courses in your business, as we've talked about with Abe, as Abe has shared with you, right? He's shared lots of places, but it kind of breaks into two categories. So there is the core course in your business, the courses that are built around your proprietary insights and intellectual property, the courses that teach the stuff that only you can deliver. And then there are the courses that are peripheral, where you're not teaching something that only you know, you're teaching best practices that are really valuable and powerful and impactful in your industry. But they're the same sort of thing that anyone analogous to you in your position would be able to teach as well. So let's look at how this distinction of core versus peripheral maps onto the transformational learning journey that Abe shared with you. So the revenue piece in the middle, that is all about the core content of your business, right? It's your expertise. That's where your core revenue is driven. When it comes to discovery and engagement and retention and referral, often that's peripheral to that core. And so the revenue piece, the core revenue driver in your business, that has to be based on your proprietary insights and intellectual property, the stuff that only you know and only you can build. But everything around that can generally work around best practices. So let's say, for example, let's make this real. Let's say, for example, that you are a nutrition coach and you've figured out a unique diet structure that works to help people lose weight, keep it off. That is your core revenue driver. That is the core expertise in your business. But what if you then find that you've got all these clients who are going through your courses or working with you in your programs, and they're just struggling with setting goals and sticking to their goals? Now, you're not an expert in goal setting and goal adherence. You know all the best practices, but you didn't invent them. It's not your research, right? So you think, well, it would be helpful for me to teach a course about goal setting to help them, right? Give them a mini course or a bonus or a special resource. And that's all great. You could teach a great course, but it wouldn't be different than a course that another expert might teach. That's where you can just lean on best practices. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and you can, we're going to drop the link for Slido into the chat, or you can just post in the chat. I'm not quite as fancy as Abe with the technology, but when we look at core versus peripheral, or both, the courses that you want to create, do you need to create a course around your core expertise? Do you need to create a course that is peripheral to that expertise? Or do you need to create both? Do you need multiple courses that fit both categories in your course? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to think about this. And if you want to even kind of list out what the different options are and put your answers into the chat or into Slido, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Is it fundamentally, do you need to create courses for your business that are core or that are peripheral, or both? Awesome. And we're seeing some people, a small number of people saying just core. Some people are saying just peripheral. But unsurprisingly, many of you are saying both. I need, clearly from what I've learned from Abe, and it just totally makes sense. It fits for me in my head. I need both. Awesome. All right, well, there are tons of responses in the chat already. I don't think we need to wait 2 more minutes. Show of fingers if you're like, okay, we're good. We can move on. Yes. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, so to everyone who has said either both or peripheral, right? We're talking about the peripheral courses right now in this program today. Let's talk about what it takes to outsource, because the core course in your business, you have to build that yourself, right? It's your expertise. Nobody else knows it. There's no way for that to turn into a course if you don't create it yourself. But when it comes to the peripheral stuff, that can be outsourced. So let's talk about what it takes to outsource that creation. And of course, it's not simple. It's not straightforward. You need the subject matter expert, someone who knows the material. You need the instructional designer who knows how to teach. You need a script writer. You need the visual designer. You need the tech integrator. Get it all together, and you're realistically looking at a bill in the range of between $5,000 and $50,000, depending on how good you are at finding and sourcing these people and managing them, and how expensive the vendors are that you find, and the scope, and so on and so forth. So how does this work? How do we thread that needle of it's worth it for me to have courses in my business, but it's probably not worth it for me to spend the time to build all these courses because I just don't have the time. And I probably can't justify spending that kind of money either. There's got to be an alternative, right? And that is a problem that Abe and I would talk about because, Abe and I go way, way back. We would have this conversation every so often for years until we finally decide, what if we were to do something about this ourselves? So we asked ourselves, what if people could get courses created by professional instructional designers? They would be built around best practice type topics, the stuff that's highly relevant for most coaches and consultants like many of you. And it was possible at a fraction of the cost of hiring experts to build a course specifically for you. Now, this would be a very disappointing step in our presentation if I were to say, well, we thought about it, but then we didn't think of anything. So let's just move on. Obviously, we did think of a solution. And if this is interesting to you, if you want to know, okay, yeah, I'd like that. I'd like professionally created courses by instructional designers on best practices that I can use in my business at a fraction of the cost. Put "show me" into the chat. If you're like, yeah, that's, Danny, spend like 5 minutes. Tell me how this works. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. And many people say, yes, show me. Okay. So that is what I will do for the next 5 minutes or so. So what we put our heads together, myself and Abe, and built is something called instant courses. So what are instant courses? Instant courses are pre-created courses that you can quickly and easily make your own. It takes minutes, not months, to get them ready to be up and running. They are preloaded onto Rizuku, which is the easiest to use platform that we've seen out there. So you can literally have a course ready in an instant. They are completely adjustable and customizable. So you can change the branding, the design, the voice, the images, or anything else as much as you want, or nothing, and just, hit publish. They're ready to use. They're ready to record in your own voice if you want videos. You can add or subtract entire lessons at your complete discretion, so you can expand the scope, do whatever you want with them. They can be run as a cohort or on demand. So you can run it as a group, or you can just kind of have it set up, set it and forget it. People sign up and go through the course at their own pace. And there is no ongoing licensing or maintenance fee, which is very important. So over the last couple of years, we built a library of over 30 of these course topics in categories ranging from business and marketing to health and wellness, to personal development, to mindfulness and relaxation, to creativity and personal productivity, to entrepreneurship, positive psychology and happiness, and leadership development. And over the last couple of years, building this library of courses, we spent, I should actually update the slide, it's more like $300,000. We've spent multiple six figures building these courses, tens of thousands of dollars on each of the various experts I just mentioned: researchers, instructional designers, writers, editors, visual designers, tech implementers, etc. And our plan was that we would charge $500 per course, so that, it's a little more than $15,000 for the whole library. And then, of course, you need to have a subscription to the Rizuku technology, which is $200 a month. And we're like, I think that works. And a lot of people did sign up. They were like, that sounds great. But we had a lot of people who asked us two things. They're like, what if I want more than just one course? And also, I don't love that I'm going to be paying a subscription fee every month for the technology until forever. Is there some way to just get all of this where I have access to everything and I don't have to worry about any recurring fees? And we believe in being responsive to what our customers ask for. And so we designed the Instant Course Launcher package. And what it gives you is lifetime access to the Rizuku technology platform. So you never have to make a payment again, right? You sign up once and then it's yours. You get all 30 plus courses, and you also get future courses because we continue to develop new courses and add them to the library. So in this package, you get the full library of 30 plus courses, you get lifetime access to the technology, and you get some bonuses that I'll tell you about a little bit later. And all of that is for just 15 monthly payments of $297, $300. And you also have the option of going VIP, and that adds a bunch of stuff. You can host your course on a custom domain. So it's, courses.yourwebsite.com. You can invite multiple instructors to teach in your Rizuku account. You can even get a private one-on-one course strategy call with Abe, plus a whole bunch of implementation support with the Rizuku team. That's $50 extra a month for the payment plan. And of course, there's an option to pay in full and you save even more. Now, this special pricing is only available until Tuesday next week, Tuesday, November 22nd. And I know I'm going to anticipate the question you're going to have next, which is, what are the course topics? So if you want to see the list of course topics, you can go to instant.courses and you'll see the whole catalog. You just scroll down on the page, you'll see each and every one of those courses. And of course, that is where you can sign up. Now, you probably have questions about this, but we still have a lot more to teach you. So here's what we're going to do. I promised you just a 5-minute overview. So we're going to move on to let me start with this, just because, we're humans and we like positive reinforcement. Put the word cool into the chat if you're like, this is cool. This is super cool. This is something that could be really good for me and my business. Abe, look, people think it's cool. That makes me very, very happy. Awesome. Okay. So I know you're going to have questions about this, but we still have a lot that we want to teach and train you on. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pass the microphone back to Abe. He's going to move on to the next topic, which is the 4 keys to cutting-edge course design. And after he's done all the training, we will come back and talk a little bit more about instant courses. So if anyone's like, nah, just give me the free stuff, I don't really want to, put all this into practice with help, you can just clock out and that's fine. Everyone who is serious can stick around. We're happy to share the details. So Abe, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, we know there will be tons of questions and we will definitely make time to address them at the end. So I want to make sure that we have time to kind of close the loop on 2 big pieces here, because we started this whole workshop focusing on the business side, right? Who is your customer? How do you help them discover you and come to want to work with you? And it's so critical to start with that, because again, we see a lot of people just wanting to jump in, build a course, put it up on your website and hope for the best. And we know, and we want to keep reiterating that strategy doesn't work. What works is stepping back, look at the journey of how people come to work with you, and then build courses to support that journey. In addition, you also need to make the courses effective, right? Engaging. That's where learning design, course design comes in. You also need to bring the courses actually to life. That's where technology comes in. So to close those loops, and before we get back to about them, I want to highlight some key considerations you should think about incorporating as you design and roll out your courses, whether they are instant courses or courses of your own that you build from scratch. And then what does it look like to actually implement and run these courses on the Rizuku platform? What technical capabilities do you need? So let's begin with course design itself. So as we've mentioned before, and Danny and I have talked about in different venues, courses are not just about content, right? A course is not just about having useful and valuable information, packaging that together and saying like, hey, here's a course you can take. There's 4 actually different elements you should look at in terms of making your courses and online programs really effective. Those are the format of the course and how you deliver it. And then kind of second category of design is facilitation community, which has to do with what is interaction like in your courses. So let's look at each of these in a little more depth from kind of the conceptual or design level. And then we're going to move into the tech side and look at how would you actually implement these cutting edge course design concepts on the Rizuku platform. So first, format. So there are different ways to structure or plan a format for your courses. But in most common scenarios, we're making a design decision between a on-demand or self-study course and some kind of scheduled group program or some people call it a cohort-based course. So an on-demand or self-study program has important benefits. And a theme of each of these four keys, these four facets of learning design, is that there's not a right or wrong way to do them. There's not a do this, don't do this. It's about understanding a series of trade-offs and then adjusting your course design to find the right trade-offs for the right situation. And that means you'll have different course designs at different points in your customer learning journey. This, I think, too, can often be misunderstood because, for example, that scheduled cohort-based courses can be more engaging, more effective. They can lead to greater progression and results for students, and they can merit a higher price point. It might be tempting to say, oh, cohort-based courses are the solution, right? They are better. This is what we need to do. But it's not that simple. If you think about the discovery phase of your customer learning journey, someone coming into your discovery phase is not ready for an in-depth, intensive, and high-priced cohort-based course. They hardly know who you are yet. That's where an on-demand or self-study course can be really valuable because it has a low barrier to entry. Someone just can come in and just sign up right away, start checking out your material, start getting hopefully some actionable insights. And that's what preps them to then move into the engagement and revenue phases of the learning journey. On the flip side, if you look at the revenue phase of your journey, if you only had a low-cost self-study course, then you're going to run into the problems that we talked about at the beginning. It's going to be very hard to sell enough of those to generate meaningful revenue and to have a sustainable business. You are most likely going to need higher ticket offerings, a cohort-based course, a leveraged group coaching program to make the revenue phase of your customer learning journey work. And so you're going to have the format of your courses and programs will be appropriate for that phase of the journey. So again, two takeaways here. One is you need to think through the format of each course you're going to roll out. And the second key insight is that you need to match the format to the phase of the customer learning journey you are supporting. Second key aspect of your course design is around delivery. And here we distinguish between asynchronous and synchronous delivery. These are big, fancy, jargony terms that people would love to toss around in an academic paper, and they fill a lot of space. But their actual meaning is pretty straightforward. Asynchronous delivery refers to information that's delivered over time, right? So you don't have to consume it at any specific time. So this could mean written information and techniques. It could mean worksheets or handouts, pre-recorded videos or audio, and so on. You've seen lots of asynchronous information in different courses you've taken or maybe created yourself. There are great benefits here and some really important trade-offs. Benefits of asynchronous delivery is that it's flexible. It works with people's schedules. And that can be especially important depending on the type of client you serve. If your client, your learner, is a really busy senior executive with a packed calendar, or perhaps a overwhelmed working parent that can't imagine fitting in a live webinar, then asynchronous information can really help to reach them in the time that they do have, whether that's listening to something while commuting or doing it late at night after the kids have gone to bed. Asynchronous delivery is also powerful because it makes the most of your limited and precious synchronous time. You may have heard of the idea of a flipped classroom, where participants complete materials, exercises, assignments, and discussions in advance. They come prepared to a live webinar or teaching session, so you can really use that live time in a special way that's more interactive and takes it, uses the real-time format to its fullest. So asynchronous delivery has great value. And it doesn't have to stand alone, right? In this flipped classroom model, you can use both effectively. It's important to recognize too the benefits of synchronous and why you typically don't want to ignore them, or you may want to think very carefully before having purely asynchronous formats. The challenge with asynchronous delivery is that it can unfortunately have low progression in engagement, right? Meaning if I look at a dashboard of how far people have progressed in my course on Riziku, how many lessons and modules they've marked off as complete, like checked off their to-do list in the course, I may see in an asynchronous delivered course that a lot of people are really dropping off, right? They may get through module 1, start doing module 2, and then we see that they're not progressing beyond that. And it's a real problem for a lot of courses. So there's multiple ways to address that challenge of engagement, but one of them is synchronous delivery because it's appointment-based, right? You block out specific time. When we invited you to this workshop, you put it on your calendar and said, yeah, I'm going to show up and attend live on Thursday at 1 Eastern. And that inherently can lead to greater participant engagement. But it's not just about the appointment, right? It's about the live energy and interaction. This workshop, if we're doing it right, feels different than just providing the same content to you asynchronously. We could have taken these exact same ideas and slides, recorded a 3-hour-long video or a series of shorter videos, and just emailed them to you, and it would have been the same content, but I very much doubt that it would feel the same or have the same sense of energy where we're interacting with each other through the chat. We're able to post exercises and you all are submitting them in real time. It feels alive in a way that is very difficult to achieve with asynchronous delivery. So again, there's benefits to both of these. And it's really important to understand the takeaway is not finding the right model. It's incorporating them effectively, finding the right balance for each of your programs. Again, in a discovery program where people have low commitment, they may not be ready to sign up for a webinar, every week. Conversely, in a valuable, high-end, intensive cohort-based course, if you tried to deliver that entirely asynchronously with no real-time interaction and live support, people, might be really disappointed or they might not even invest in the course. So matching your delivery to your course goals. Facilitation and coaching. So increasingly, the trend we are seeing is that successful courses are designed around interacting with and guiding participants toward achieving meaningful learning outcomes. And again, how deep that is going to vary. You can have fully self-study, self-guided programs that are valuable, right? I'm not saying self-study is always bad. I'm saying it's limited, right? If we just offer a self-study course, again, we look at that progress dashboard, we know a lot of people are not going to go through it or not go through it completely or not apply what they are learning from it. Whereas if you help people more, if you are answering their questions, giving feedback, assigning and then reviewing assignments and worksheets, or going even as far as getting on private or group coaching calls, you can design the level of support that's appropriate for you and for your price point. Those layers of facilitation and coaching are going to help people get to much more meaningful outcomes. Even with the same core content, right? You could take the same core program on reducing stress, and if you add to the content a series of self-assessments and assignments, weekly group coaching sessions, and a capstone coaching call where you help participants design their kind of personal stress reduction plan, those layers of support are going to help people get to much, much deeper results than just the content alone. And then finally, community. How are participants learning on their own, just of their own, on their own time by themselves, or in some kind of community? Now, online community has gotten a lot of buzz over the last few years, and it's important to understand that it's not a magic bullet. You can't just sprinkle this community pixie dust on your courses and magically have great engagement and great results. It's not that simple, and it's not appropriate for all courses, right? Again, if you just try and open up a community in your free discovery course, you may not see a lot of result because people aren't, super engaged yet at that point. But in the right context, community can be incredibly powerful. In cohort-based courses, for example, if you can bring people together, create a sense of common purpose and that they're supporting each other, you can build rich community and help people really learn in a way that is very difficult to do on your own, because they're answering each other's questions. They're encouraging each other. They're learning from each other. Really, really powerful. So let's look at an example. What would these aspects of course design look like for one of Jane, the coach's programs? So Jane, one of her goals was to roll out a leveraged group coaching program, Surfing the Waves of Life, Finding Your Ideal Career in Life. The format of this would be a calendar-based course on Riziku. So leveraging that schedule, getting people on the same schedule so they're participating together. Would be delivered over time, right? So perhaps one module per week for 8 weeks would be a typical format. And that would be combined with weekly scheduled emails to help people stay on track with that schedule. It would have asynchronous material for sure, right? Videos from Jane, worksheets, and so on. The synchronous component would be weekly live Zoom calls with the replays posted back to Riziku for people to be able to review. So you can see she's thinking through the format, the delivery, the facilitation through those calls and through reviewing people's assignments and worksheets. And then what about community? So for community, she could post specific discussion prompts each week, ask people to share their responses to those discussion prompts, and kind of build up energy where people are then commenting and supporting each other through that discussion medium. So that's what it would look to map out those facets of learning experience for an actual course. Well, I want to give you a couple minutes now to go through that same exercise for yourself. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to answer this question. Looking at these 4 facets of the learning experience: format, delivery, facilitation, and community, what is jumping out as feeling right for your course? And by your course, I mean kind of the course you want to focus on first. That might be a free course for discovery. It might be a short course for engagement, a revenue generating cohort-based course. What feels like the right next step for you? So don't worry about being really comprehensive here or covering all 4 of the categories. Just share with us what you're thinking about aspects of the learning experience for the first course that is the priority for you. We'll give you 3 minutes to do that. I believe Molly's put in the link to Slido, so you can type in your answers there if that works for you. And again, if you're having any trouble with Slido, you can always fall back to chat. But there's definitely more space to chat in Slido, which is nice too. So again, just to read the prompt again, the prompt was looking at these 4 facets of learning design, what jumps out at you as being right for your course. So thinking about the format, delivery, facilitation, community, what aspects of those jump out at you for your course. So for example, I want to do a self-study course for to have as my lead magnet for discovery. And so it's going to be all asynchronous and self-study, but I'm going to have 2 assignments that people can do at different points in the course that they can submit to me and get feedback on if they want that. So there's an opportunity for a little bit of facilitation there that builds a relationship and leads towards them wanting to work with me. That would be an example. So for folks who are posting, essentially one of the aspects, like if you're posting format or posting facilitation, try and go one level deeper and think about what would you include in that area, right? So if you posted facilitation, what would the facilitation look like for you? Would it mean private coaching? Would it mean responding only to specific student questions? Would it mean providing a weekly group coaching session, so on? Think about what level of facilitation would be right for the type of course that you're looking to offer. So yeah, people are sharing as examples a self-study program where they work with a scheduled Q&A with me, a free course delivered over 5 days via email, followed by nurture emails, and the option to get a personalized recorded review of your profile, group coaching or responding to questions, self-study with possibly some private coaching. Awesome, great. Thanks to everyone for sharing. So let's now begin to shift our focus from the conceptual level of course design, right? We understand the different considerations, what we want to include in our courses, to implementation. How do we actually do this? And the truth is, there are lots of ways, right? From setting up a learning experience on your own website with a combination of plugins and different tools, to very streamlined approaches of, hey, I'm not going to have a course. I'm just going to have 4 Zoom sessions over a period of 4 weeks. I'm going to send people the link. If they want to join, they can join. All the way up to very sophisticated course platforms that manage the whole learning experience for you. And we hear from a lot of people that just figuring out what direction to go in, like what technology you actually need, can be quite challenging. So what I'll attempt to do briefly here is explain why you specifically want to consider the Rizuku learning platform, what sets it apart. And then I'll take you behind the scenes so you can see what does it actually look like, right? What is the look and feel of our online learning experience? What does it look like to set up and customize an instant course on the platform? So just try to make it as concrete for you as possible. So why Rizuku specifically? There's 4 core reasons. Simplicity. We've worked really hard to make Rizuku as simple to set up and to use as possible. We do that in a couple of ways. One is by intentionally trying not to do too much. So for example, there are products that not only will host content and courses, but also provide an entire marketing platform with many different components and features within them. Rizuku doesn't do that. We really focus on just creating engaging courses. And then secondly, we design the interface around guiding you to success, starting with the quick launch guide that I'll show you that walks you through step by step how to set up your course. So simplicity, engagement. Doesn't help if it's easy to set up your courses if they aren't actually effective. Something that's really important is having ways to interact with your students. In Rizuku, we do that through discussions. I'll show you those in a moment as well. And we do it through assignments and accountability. You can set up assignments that students respond to, submit to you privately, and then you can review and give them feedback on those assignments. You can even, if you want, reject or decline to approve their assignment and send it back to them to keep working on it until it meets your criteria or standards. So you can maintain a level of assessment and accountability in your program. It's not just about the student looking at content. That's what helps drive progress and results. What also drives engagement is community. So another key piece that Rizuku really focuses on, and that's somewhat unique among many course platforms, is integrating discussion community directly into the course. So you can set up discussion prompts. You have as many as you like in every course. And students can come in and respond to those discussion questions or prompts. They can respond with text, but also with images, with videos. You can have a rich media thread right inside of your course. So rather than sending people out to a separate Facebook group or forum where they have to be, a completely different experience in your course, you have that community right inside. And then the fourth reason has nothing to do with technology or the interface or user experience, as we call it. But for some people, it's actually the most important thing of all, which is support. We take supporting our customers very seriously, and it's something that I can't really show you on screen or prove to you. So if you can, I encourage you to ask around. If you're in communities like Miracy's Teacher Gift Pro or in Facebook groups of course creators or online business owners, ask about people who've run a course on Rizuku or even taken a course as a student, and if they've needed help or support from our team. And I think you'll find that they have really, really nice things to say, because we take very seriously the responsibility to provide support that actually helps you accomplish your goals and get to having a successful course. One of the things I've found frustrating myself as a customer of a lot of different tech companies is many of them treat customer support as it's basically just a cost center. It's something to get out of the way as quickly as possible. And when I've had real problems where I needed real help, a lot of times the responses I get back are they're just kind of rote responses or links to an article that doesn't even answer my question. I even had one experience with Cloudflare, very big, successful tech company, does hosting and all kinds of other stuff, where I asked about a problem we were having with our network configuration, and they told me that I needed to use a certain product that they offer, which would be fine. I have no problem with them recommending a product they offer, except that I was already using and paying for that exact product. It was like they hadn't even bothered to look at my account before sending me this form response. So that kind of support drives me crazy. And what we strive to do at Rizuku is the opposite. It's to actually understand who you are, what your real problems are, and how to address them. So let me summarize what Rizuku actually does for you, because I know the product is new to many of you here. And then I'll switch to sharing my screen so you can see what does it look like under the curtains. So what does Rizuku actually do for you and your students? It starts with setting up the structure of your course, building a step-by-step outline with modules, and then putting all the content you want into those modules. So if you're going to have a 6-week cohort-based course, Rizuku would let you set up those 6 modules and then post all of your content, videos, text, PDFs, and so on, for your students to review asynchronously. But you can also do the synchronous part as well. You get a calendar for your course where you can schedule live webinars, and you can run those on the Rizuku platform or link to your Zoom account or other service. We then handle the student engagement part, right? So engaging people with structured discussions and community inside the course, so they're not going through it just on their own, they're feeling connected and supported. And then finally, Rizuku is also your business backend. It lets you sell your course and actually make money, including not just as a single payment, but offering payment plans and recurring subscriptions if that's appropriate for your offer. So that's how Rizuku helps. That's why we're here. But I know that just a list of capabilities doesn't really show you what does it actually look like? How does it actually work? So let's go behind the scenes. So give me 1 second here because I'll need to stop sharing this and then switch back over to my browser. All righty. So you should be seeing Google Chrome and Riziku. Is that looking okay? All right. So let's check out a couple of things here. So first of all, since we've been talking about instant courses, let's check out an instant course. So if I go here to browse instant courses, you'll see I have in my account the whole library of all the different instant courses that I can choose from. And we've been talking a lot about setting goals. That came up a lot as an example today. So how about we start with our Go for Your Goals instant course. I'm going to click Preview, and that will show me a preview of everything that's included in the course. I'm going to go ahead and copy it into my account so I can tweak it and customize it. I can give it my own title, called The Power of Goals for now. Can always change it later. And here we are now in the step-by-step checklist that I mentioned. So we don't need to watch the tutorial because I'm giving you a tutorial live. But we can start by setting the pace of our course. So for this one, let's say that we're going to do it as a lead magnet mini course. And so let's do it with individual release dates. So this means that people will get a module on a schedule based on when they sign up. And I think I need to sneeze, so give me a second. Are we sneezing? No. All right, maybe in a minute. So now let's take a look at our modules and lessons. This is what's actually in our course. So for the instant courses, we've got our instructor materials. These are things that you would save for yourself, and then here we go. Hold on. Oh my gosh, the sneeze is killing me. At some point in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to sneeze. So these are your instructor only materials. And there's a lot of cool stuff here that I'll show you in a moment. But let's look at what you're actually see. So for your students, you would typically welcome and orient them into the course. And then you would have your core learning modules. So module 1, from dreams to goals. Module 2, make your goals real. Module 3, supercharge your progress, and so on. And each of these modules is fully built out for you with the instant courses. So when you click into them, all the content is already here built out for you, including written exercises, written materials, and then exercises for people to take action and apply the courses. So for example, here's an exercise with a downloadable worksheet. So this is all built out and it's all editable, right? So if I want to tweak any of this to my voice, I just go in and tweak whatever I want to. I can add my own text, or I can add my own content, like a video. So you just choose a video from my computer, upload it, and it appears right here for students to view. So here's the flip side of it. This is what students would see. So the lesson title, the video, all the content that was here. And then I can also, as a student, just navigate through the course. So hopefully this is illustrating just how quickly, and easily you can get a course going here. I haven't had to build any of this. It's all ready here just for me to kind of tweak and customize however I want to. The other thing I can start doing here is then adding in those opportunities for student interaction and engagement that we talked about. So we mentioned the importance of building community with discussions. I can do that on Riziku by setting a discussion at the bottom of the lesson. So here's my discussion prompt. And here's what it looks like to the student. share your top 1 to 3 goals here. As a student, I can come in and share my response, which again doesn't just have to be text, it could be, but I can also, as a student, share a photo or a video or a PDF as my response if I want to. So that's how you get community started in your course. But in some cases, having a discussion around a particular question or worksheet might not be appropriate. You might want to have people submit that to you privately and give them private feedback. So that's where you might want to instead create an assignment. So I could have some content here as context if I want. And then I would create an assignment for this lesson. And assignments are just questions or prompts that students would respond to. And I can create as many of these different questions as I want. And then as a student, I'll see that assignment where, again, I can come in and type in my answer, or I could respond with an image, a video, an audio recording, PDF, whatever I want to share to answer this question. And then I'll submit the assignment to the instructor of the course to review and give feedback on. And then for me as the instructor, I'll see that in my course dashboard. So here's a course I ran as the instructor. And here's an example of the assignments that come in. So Terry submitted her assignment and I approved her response. But if I wanted to, I could have given her feedback here or even sent it back to review and improve. So sharing these just to reiterate how important it is to create engagement and support for your students and how Ruzuku facilitates that process. There's a ton more that I could show you, and I'm always tempted to keep just walking through all the cool things that Ruzuku can do. But I'm also, mindful of time and want to make sure that we have time for Danny's summation and to answer your questions. And when we get into Q&A, I'm happy to answer specific technical and feature questions about Ruzuku, and we can do more of this walkthrough as well. But unless there's anything else you think we should call out in the walkthrough, Danny, I can pass it back to you.
No, that's my cue. So I'm going to share my screen again. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to quickly recap the details of instant courses, and not just recap, but also share a little more detail, because we only did a very quick run through before. And if you're still here, then presumably you're interested and you want to hear more. So again, instant courses is how you get access to a library of pre-created courses that you can quickly and easily make your own, right? Completely your own, do it whatever you want with it. And you do it in minutes, not months. So it's preloaded onto Ruzuku. You can deploy it instantly. It's completely adjustable and customizable. So you can take it as it is and just hit publish, or you can use it as a base to refine, adjust, add your own content, take lessons out as you like. So it's ready to use or ready to record in your voice, add or subtract lessons, etc. And you can take these courses and run them as a cohort where you include coaching and there's guidelines to support you in doing that, or it can be self-study, they do it on their own, whatever you want. And because you get access to this launcher package, there's no ongoing license or maintenance fees. So we have a library of courses in a lot of topics as I've already shared, and you can get access to the entire list by going to instant.courses. Each course includes a complete written self-study program, so it contains all the content for your course, so you can customize it or publish it immediately. It includes student activity sheets, so worksheets to keep students engaged with the material, help them apply it to their specific situation. Editable PowerPoint slides, so you can record the videos yourself, or you can add visual components to live training webinars in the course. It includes coaching questions and homework to support your students in learning more effectively if you want to make it more of a coaching experience and achieve outcomes that reflect well on you. Every course also comes with professionally written marketing emails to help you start promoting your course to interested prospects right away so you can grow your student base, as well as fill in the blank templates for sales pages. So we take all the guesswork out and we help you really get up and running fast. Now, again, you get lifetime access to the Rizuku platform, to all 30 plus courses, and to future courses that we continue to develop. And we keep developing courses. So some of the courses that we rolled out in 2022 are Developing Gratitude, the Key to Living a Joyful Life, Make the Cash Register Sing, taking your business from client number 1 to long-term success, Fortitude, the Ultimate Key to Success in Business and Life, and How to Make Great Decisions. So there are 2 options. You can choose the Instant Course Launcher Package, where you get the full library, the lifetime Rizuku technology, and 3 bonuses I'll tell you about in a moment. And that is 15 monthly payments of $297. Or you can go VIP. And if you go VIP, you can also host your courses on a custom domain. So courses.yourwebsite.com, for example. You can invite multiple instructors, and you get private one-on-one course strategy conversations with Abe. And that's $347 a month. And as I said, 3 really cool bonuses. So first, you get the course monetization toolkit. So you get our best strategies for growing your leads and sales. So if you're thinking, well, where am I going to get leads? This is where you're going to learn how. If you're thinking, how do I use this to turn it into more conversions and more sales? Again, this is where you learn it. You get the Instant Courses Quick Start virtual event. So it's kind of like a deep dive, let's get you going quickly kind of training. And you get access to concierge hands-on onboarding with a friendly Rizuku course expert. And we have a new bonus for VIPs, people who are buying the VIP package. We will promote you to over 20,000 people. You'll send us your free discovery course, and we'll promote it to the entire Rizuku email list during one of their scheduled promotion windows. So it's a great way to get some exposure and start getting leads flowing. And this can be based on an instant course or a new course of your own design, if you're so inclined. And to be clear, the Rizuku platform, you can put as many courses as you want on it. So you can deploy lots of instant courses, but you can also host all your own courses. And you won't have to pay for a course hosting platform ever again. So this special pricing is available until Tuesday, November 22nd. If you want to see more details, including the entire library of topics, you can go to instant.courses, and all the details are there, and the link is being dropped into the chat. Now, I want to quickly answer a few frequently asked questions before we go to Q&A. 1, what if I sign up and end up not liking the courses? Well, you do not need to worry because you're protected by a double guarantee. Guarantee number 1, if you have any trouble getting your course launched, Abe will personally get on a call with you to walk you through your questions and direct Rizuku's team to help. To help. Abe's direct email is abe@rizuku.com. Many of you have interacted with him. You know he is super helpful and super friendly. And there's a second guarantee. You can take it all for a spin for 30 days, see all the courses, take a look. If you decide this is not the right package for you, just let us know. You get a full refund. Second question, what if I prefer another learning management system? Well, to that I say, what are you thinking? No, I'm joking. There are lots of technologies out there. Many of them are very good. And if you have a system that you like and you use, I always tell people, if it's not broken, don't fix it. You can sign up for this package and take the material off of Rizuku, put it wherever you want. You're free to do that. Question 3, are there any hidden fees? Will the courses really be mine? So no, there are no extra hidden fees. Yes, the courses will really be yours. You can do whatever you want with them. The only thing you can't do is sell someone else the license for them to sell it to someone else. Now, I want to share with you feedback from a few of the people who've kind of looked at this package to get a sense of the scope of what you can do with it. So this is Danielle. She said, I am a mentor coach looking to create courses that allow young women to learn the many life skills needed to build a meaningful, solid, service-oriented life. I love your personal growth courses and have several different courses that fit into this category. Riding the Wheel of Life would probably be the most valuable course to start with, but there are several other courses mentioned that I would use. This is Bill. He says, I'm a fitness coach, and last year began an effort to take the training online. I know what I'm doing with fitness coaching. I have a lot of training and experience and many success stories. Writing a program and getting it online, however, has been a challenge. This entire program appeals to me because it gives me a model, a platform, training, and ready courses that I can use either as a lead magnet or as a complement to the coaching that I currently do. Immediately, I see it as a way to get into the game. Ongoing, I see it as something that will continue to serve my efforts and my clients. The topic I would choose is 30 days to clean energy. It would be valuable because it goes so well with what I'm already doing and can fill in some gaps in the nutrition front. This is Stephanie. She said, I help special needs families find peace amongst the chaos and give their children the best life possible. Being a special needs parent can bring ongoing levels of intense stress that has been compared to PTSD. Learning how to turn all that stress into something positive would be life-changing, not only for the parents, but for the children they care for. That's why I would choose Good Stress. That's one of the courses, how to transform stress so you grow stronger, smarter, and happier. For my market, I would leave off the smarter and happier and maybe change it to stronger and more resilient, which of course she can do because you get access to do whatever you want with the courses. I would probably need to adapt it, but as a special needs parent, I can fill in around the core information to make it relevant. And this is Renee. She says, I think Go For Your Goals would be an incredibly valuable course topic for me. It would completely dovetail with the course I'm developing and could serve as a powerful introduction to what I teach. It could be a lead into my course. It could be a free webinar. It could be a low cost of entry into my funnel that leads them to my longer high touch course. It could be an evergreen product in my suite of offerings. It could be a bonus with one of my other offerings. It could be a funnel bump. The possibilities are vast. And Renee is absolutely right. The possibilities are in fact vast. So anyway, that is the run through. We have about 15 minutes left for questions. So post your questions into the chat. Molly will sort them and pass them on to myself or Abe, but realistically, it's probably going to be mostly Abe because I imagine you're going to have a lot of questions about the tech. And let's go from there. So Molly, what would people like to know?
So we have a lot of questions coming in. Peter's doing an excellent job fielding them in the chat. So to start, let me jump over to Slido right here. First, is there a way for course providers to control the length of access? So if they want to only have the course available for a specific amount of time, are things like that available to do?
It is indeed. Would you like to see it?
Sure.
All right. So yeah, something I didn't actually get a chance to show earlier is setting up like actual payments and access for your course. So let's do that, and I'll show you the access thing along the way. So we can create here what's called a price point. So let's say that we want to charge $497 for our course. Just call this full pay. And here I can limit how long students have access to the course. So do 180 days by default, half a year, or a custom duration if you need to.
Awesome. That looks really simple. When you did that, Abe, I saw a note that says subscription. Somebody is asking if you could include a membership feature as part of this, and could you use the subscription tag for that?
Yeah, so that's the idea here. So this is a subscription price point that would be appropriate for a membership or some kind of continuity program. So this would be charging $47 every month. If you want, you can do a free trial. Maybe you can offer people a 14-day free trial to start. And what this is creating for you is your checkout link, right? So this is making a checkout page showing what students would pay, right? So this is what a student is going to see: 14-day free trial, then $47 per month, and then Rizuki will keep billing them on your behalf until they cancel or unless you cancel for them.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that clarity. Another question I have here is about taxes. For courses that are purchased, do you collect tax? Is it limited to the US? And what about international?
We don't collect tax. It's not limited to the US. You can, because payments are processed by Stripe. So the way payment processing works is you go into your account here, integrations, and you're going to link your Stripe account to Rizuku. If you're not familiar with Stripe, they are just a service for processing your students' credit cards. So you can sign up for a Stripe account for free. They just make money on the credit card processing transaction fee, which Rizuku doesn't charge. We don't charge any transaction fees. So you'll just pay whatever Stripe charges. And then in terms of taxes, that's really at your discretion as to how best to handle it, because it's very different in different countries. So there are some options for doing it through Stripe. There are different products that will plug in to Stripe and calculate taxes for you. Or we've also seen people, like, you can download a report of your payments from your course on Rizuku and then calculate taxes based on that report. So those are some options. If you have specific questions, you're always welcome to email us so we can talk you through your specific situation. The other thing I'll mention, though, is there's a lot of confusion around taxes. And so again, you really have to do your own research for your specific area. So this is not legal or financial advice. It's just to point you in the right direction. But from my reading of a number of articles and resources about taxes in major areas like the US and Canada and the European Union, typically what's being taxed are what are called digital products. A digital product is something that is strictly content. So an example of a digital product would be you package together 8 videos, and you sell that as like a premium content package, essentially. You might call it a course, but it's what it consists of is 8 videos. Or you create a in-depth, 150-page PDF ebook, right? And you sell that ebook for $20 off your website. Those are what are considered digital products. They are just content. They are consumed only by the student or purchaser. There's no learning environment or interaction. Those are taxable. Again, in most countries that I've researched, and you got to look at your specific situation, but in most that I've researched, when you are actually facilitating some type of learning environment, so if there are online discussions and community, if you are giving students assignment and giving them feedback, if you are hosting webinars or group coaching calls or private coaching calls with students, any or all of these types of actual interaction, that changes what you're offering from the digital product category to being a service. And services are not taxed as digital products. So again, research it for your jurisdiction, but the resources I have seen for major areas, that's the guidance that I have seen.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There are a couple questions about replays. So just to let you all know, we will be sending the replay out later. We are recording and we are passing them on to you guys later this evening. Another question, can you connect, oops, you already answered that one. Can you offer refunds through the system? I know we talked about our own refund here, but if somebody buys it and you need to refund them, can you do that through Rizuku?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know if I have an example handy, but basically you would see it in your students' dashboard. So for every course, you have a dashboard like this of all your students when they signed up. And if they paid, these are all free signups, but if they had paid, I would see their sign up here and I would be able to refund it from right here as well.
Thank you for that. Jacqueline asks, do they have to pay through Stripe? And I saw when you had that up there that you had other options that you could integrate with. Can you just clarify that?
Yeah, I mean, Stripe is what we recommend, and it should handle 95% of cases. We do provide also a PayPal integration as a secondary option if you need it. So yeah, you can click to do this, and then we give you instructions for how to link PayPal. It's important to know that that's limited to single payments. So like charging $200 for a course as a one-time payment. If you want to do the payment plans or a membership model, that would require Stripe.
And other than Stripe, does it integrate with any type of, which isn't really a software, so I'm sorry to preface it that way, but does it integrate with any kind of accounting software that you can easily use to help on that end of your business?
Oh, I think for that, you would just export your payment list. So you can export a spreadsheet here, either of all your students across all your courses. You can do that from here, or you can go into any specific course. Again, go back to that students page and you can download, again, a spreadsheet of all your students and all their payments for this specific course. So that could be imported into any software you want, basically.
Awesome. I'm scrolling.
I mean,
through here.
alternatively, you could do it through Stripe. Like if you're taking payments through Stripe, like Stripe integrates with a lot of different tools. So you could likely just integrate, with a tool that connects to Stripe as well.
And what about different languages, Abe? Is there other options other than English?
I'm glad you asked. So recently we have been working on integrating Spanish support for Rizuku. And here it is. Yeah, we have this up and running. It's still kind of, I'd say, polishing the final edges of this. It's literally just in the last few weeks that this went live, but it's looking good. So you can see here, I've got the My Courses page with navigation in Spanish. If I go into a course as a student, all my navigation and everything is in Spanish. I mean, and then you're always able to post your course content in any language you want, right? If I just edit, this goal setting course, any content that I edit, you can post any content you want. So I could take this English text and just replace this with Spanish if I want to. That's always been possible. But yeah, what's newer and we're excited about is you can actually set the language of your courses to Spanish. So the navigation and everything for students is in Spanish as well. And so that's currently available on the Pro plan, which is included in the VIP package. And we'll be looking to roll out other languages as well. We don't have a specific list, but if you have feedback on that, we'd love to hear from you as to what languages would be like most valuable for your use.
And just to clarify, you can have some courses in English and in Spanish. You can designate it per course, correct?
Well, the course content can be, yes,
Yeah.
because that's just the content that you post. The navigation you would set for your sort of your suite of courses or your overall website of courses.
Another question here from Lisa. For the instant courses, how is the content research? Is it evidence-based? Is it sourced? Like, how do you come up with the content for these?
Yeah, so I mean, we start with kind of a high level like problem or question that we think the course should be about, like how to help people set goals or how to help people make better decisions. And then we have a research team that then goes through an extensive research process around that question. So we're looking at best-selling books, academic research articles, interviews with experts in the field. Those are kind of the main resources we use. And then we distill that down to a kind of focused course outline that is progressing in a step-by-step way to help people move from initial understanding of the problem to specific techniques that can help them apply it. And then we layer in the implementation. So we have instructional designers build actionable worksheets for each of the core modules to help students apply and implement the ideas. And then we add discussion prompts to help them reflect and share on what they're learning. So that's the overall design process. But yeah, like really there's sort of two key ways that we approach it. One is making sure that the courses are designed with learning and implementation, taking action in mind, right? So we're not building repositories of content. We're building support to help students understand and take action. And ideally, you're also, if it's appropriate for where the course is in your business model, you're providing coaching and facilitation to help support them in taking action. But that's all built into the course as well. And then we're using vetted, trustworthy sources for the recommendations as well.
Just two more questions that I see here, and folks, I'm in the chat with you. You guys see how quick it goes. So if I miss things, please let me know. One is there any way to have a blog or anything like that with Rizuku?
No, you wouldn't really use it for public-facing content like a blog. You would use it for your internal content like courses and programs and memberships.
And the last one that I see here is, does Ruzuku have anything integrated in it to help with advertising?
Well, advertising is kind of a broad term, so it would help if there were, it would help if that question were clarified, I guess. But I would think about it in the context of the customer learning journey that we talked about, right? So the first phase is discovery. So how can Ruzuku help with discovery and getting more leads and more potential clients? You would use it, and this is where instant courses really shine, I think, right? If you want to get a free mini course up and running on goal setting, to have that be part of your discovery process, you can do that with an instant course incredibly quickly. As I'm showing you here, you have the course already built out and ready to go. You just need to tweak it and customize it to your voice and brand. What I haven't showed you yet, but I will real quick, is that you can then also run your sales page or offer page on Ruzuku as well. So whether this is going to be a free lead magnet course or a paid course like we're seeing here, Ruzuku will create this sales page template for you that you can then go in and edit to provide the features, the benefits, the marketing copy for your course to actually get people to sign up and enroll and pay. So this whole template is here out of the box for you to take and adapt and use. And then that generates a page that you'll be able to publish on social media or promote in an email campaign to get people to sign up for the course, whether it's a free lead magnet or a paid course. You would have the appropriate sales page for each. So that's how Ruzuku would help with lead generation and sales, I guess. Hopefully that partially answers the question.
Yep, just a few other things here. And I can just, you've answered some of these throughout. You can host them elsewhere. So if you're doing your own hosting, you can take the instant courses and use them there.
Mm-hmm.
And about
we encourage people to use the courses however fits for you, right? So not just on Ruzuku, but maybe you host your own 3-hour, live workshop, and you use the goal setting materials and slides and worksheets to facilitate that workshop. Or maybe you run an in-person retreat, right? And you guide people through our techniques on reducing and managing stress effectively over the course of your retreat. So yeah, we really encourage you to use the materials throughout your business in whatever ways will serve you.
Last question for the day, Abe. When did you start Ruzuku?
I know Danny probably has to run, but I'm also happy to hang out for a few minutes and answer questions if there's still stuff coming in.
Awesome.
Sure, so
awesome.
I do, sorry, before you keep going to lots more questions, because I know Abe has a lot of stamina for this sort of thing. I do have to run to get my kids, but I just want to say to everyone, first of all, thank you for being here for 3 hours. I love the engagement and the commitment and the great questions. This is a fantastic offer. It's a fantastic opportunity. Obviously, I strongly recommend it because I'm here and I endorse it. But I want to say, I know you're going to have questions, and maybe you posted a question, we didn't get to it because there are hundreds and hundreds of people posting in the chat and something slipped by. So first of all, post it again because Abe seems willing and able to stick around for a while longer. But you can also reply to any email you've received from us or send an email to abe@ruzuku.com. And we're happy to get your questions answered, of course. So yeah, it's all here to support you. And if you're ready to sign up, or if you just want to read more details, see the catalog, go to instant.courses and it's all there. So with that, Abe, back to you. And I will look forward to hearing about many of your successes, everyone, inside of Instant Courses and on Ruzuku.
Thanks, Danny.
Abe, so the last question I saw come through here, and I'll take another quick look, but was what year did you start Ruzuku?
Believe it or not, it's been 10 years. So we launched out of the startup factory here in North Carolina in 2012.
Awesome. All right, guys. Abe said he was willing to stick around. So if you ask questions and I missed them, please drop them in the chat. Again, it is instant.courses. I can put that in here again. If you have questions, it is abe@ruzuku.com, or you can reach me at support@miracy.com. Abe, do you know the price point on the full price, like to just pay for it outright?
Yeah, it's $34.97 standard or $39.97 VIP.
Awesome.
I mean, just to emphasize, how good a deal that is. It's $2,000. I mean, look at our public pricing. It's $2,000 a year for the Pro plan. So that's only 2 years of service that you'd be paying anyway, getting lifetime access and the entire Instant Courses library. It's a good deal, folks. Just saying, it's a good deal.
It is a great deal. It is a great deal. All right, everybody, that looks like a wrap. Thank you, Abe, for all of your time and all of the great information. There has been so much fantastic shout outs to you in the chat that you probably didn't get to see, but I just want to,
Let me see if I can download it for later.
Yeah. Mala, your content is your content in Rizuku. So if you put your own coursework in, everything belongs to you. You remain, you have all rights to that. That is your content for sure. Otherwise, again, we will be sending out the replay. I think that email is scheduled to go out at 6:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. So keep your eyes out for there. You might have gotten an email earlier saying it had the replay. That one did not have the replay, but the next one will, I promise. Otherwise, again, you can reach Abe at Rizuku, Peter at support@Rizuku. I think Peter, I'm sorry.
Sales at Rizuku, yeah.
Sales at Rizuku, and I am at support@mercy.com. So everybody, thank you for joining us on your Thursday afternoon or morning or Friday, whatever it is for you. We appreciate you and your time, and we're here to support you. So let us know how we can help. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Molly. Thanks all.
Bye, Abe. Have a great day.